What's up, YouTube?
Cole from Team Villains here, and I'm here with Kyle.
What's up, bro?
Got a deck profile for us today.
I do. We have for you today Great Nature, fresh out of the Answer of Truth, fresh off a Worlds win. But this is not the Worlds build today. We're actually playing the alternative build for Great Nature. We're going to be playing Bison. So first off, we have your 4 Leopold. He is your finisher in the deck. His effect, whenever you ride him, you mill the top card of your deck. If you mill a normal unit, you get to look at the top 4 cards of your deck, call up to 2 grade 2 or lower units from among them, and call them the rear guard circle. Then you shuffle the rest back in. And if you mill a trigger, he gets 15 and a crit. So both effects are pretty solid. On all the cat effects, I believe that the normal unit effect is just slightly better on each one. But next up we have Bison. Bison's pretty simple. Whenever it attacks Vanguard or Rearguard, you can counterblast 1 to stand another unit, and if he's on the Vanguard circle, that unit gets 5k power. So obviously he's a great Vanguard, amazing first ride, and then he just puts out a lot of pressure as just a Rearguard as well. Which is why I like this version of the deck. I feel like it's a little bit more consistent, less explosive than the hamsters, though.
Right.
So next up, we're going to go into the Great 2s. We have 4 Binoculus Tiger. Binoculus Tiger's effect, when he attacks, you can counterblast 1, mill the top card of your deck. If you mill a normal unit, you get to draw a card. If you mill a trigger unit, you retire one of your opponent's rearguards and choose 3 units in your front row and get 5k power. It's a very, very good card. This card is honestly the backbone of the grade 2s and most of the deck as a whole. Next up, we have we play 4 copies of Geograph Giant. Geograph Giant, if he's on an extra circle, he gets 8k power. So he's just 17 on his own. Excel circle makes him 27. He's just your primary beat stick, and he's Bison's favorite bear. Next up, we have Barcode Zebra. This is a card we've been flip-flopping with Geograph Giant a lot, whereas we've been switching between 4 and 3 of each one. But Barcode Zebra's effect is whenever you mill a card with one of your other cards, he gets 5k power. So he can get pretty out of control pretty quick.
Yeah.
But outside of that, he's just a solid beater that can attack on his own, which is what Excel decks need as a whole. Next up, we play 2 Tech Toolbox Wally. If he's used to guard with from rearguard circle, so intercept, he gets plus 10k shield, so he's a 15k intercept. Right. Pretty good. It's really relevant in the mirror match, honestly.
So why not play for Zebra and Geograph Giant and no Wallaby?
Mostly it's just because like the deck does need the defensive power. You'll see more in my trigger lineup that like I don't play extra draws or anything. So any extra shield I can get, the better. Especially since like a lot of the decks are just hitting for larger and larger numbers. So if you just think of any force deck, like they just get so big, you just need that extra shield sometimes just to live. Yeah. Especially against like Genesis, like Genesis gets pretty crazy. Yeah. So that's why him. I mean, if they get another unit that can just like give you more draw power, probably take him out and play that card instead. Right. So, and then I just like how toolboxy the deck is too. Like it's pretty good. Next up, we have 4 Mono Tigers. Mono Tiger. Mill a card for Soul Blast when he boosts or attacks. If you get a normal unit, your opponent can't guard using Sentinels. And if you get a trigger unit, they can only use triggers. Pretty solid.
Yep, nice card restrict.
Yep, and it's the only Soul Blast in the deck as well, so it's doesn't really hurt you any. So. Next up, we have 4 Tank Mouse. Tank Mouse is easily the best grade 1 in the deck, just because it equals advantage. His effect is whenever you would mill a card with one of your effects, you can counterblast 1 to add that card back from your drops into your hand. So you're not doing much with your counterblast outside of Bison and Bino Tiger. So might as well just get some free cards out of your milling effects. Next up, we have for Silverwolf. Silverwolf, if he's on a back row, he gets an additional 4K power. So he just a nice 12K boost. Not really much else to say there. It's just it's pretty solid. There's really nothing else better to play except like Sea Stamp Otter. But Sea Stamp Otter just doesn't do enough except give you some defensive options against like Shadow Paladins, which currently aren't the most relevant deck. So if they get a little more popular, maybe play a couple Sea Stamp Otters to defend against the ping.
Yeah.
But outside of that, he's doing well right now. Next up, triggers. Obviously, we play 4 Perfect Guard draws. And then in this build, we actually play 8 critical instead of the fronts, just because you're forced to respect the Vanguard more, because Bison doesn't hit big on his own, like at all. And if you have a 2 crit Leopold swinging in, you know, if they're at 3 damage, crit wins. So I like this better than the fronts in this specific build.
Is it different with the hamster build?
Yeah, hamsters you definitely want to play fronts just because you're more aggressive. Like your turns in the hamster build are way more explosive. Just, you know, ride your hamster, discard your 2 cards, get an extra circle, call your 2 units.
Bigger front row.
Bigger front row. And instant, you know, 5+ attacks. It's pretty good. And then obviously play 4 heal triggers.
Yep.
That's pretty much all we have to say about this build. If you guys want to see the hamster build, we do have it, and we will be showcasing hamsters versus bison really soon on the channel. So keep an eye out for that. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you'd be so kind to ring that notification bell for us. And let us know down in the comment section what decks you guys would like to see next.